2, 3, 4.
Folks are struggling with how to talk about like these issues. Everything's, there's a global pandemic, right? There's this disproportionate killing of like unarmed Black folks, by vigilantes and law enforcement, right? There is record poverty that is just on our doorsteps. Folks want to know how to talk to their fans. Their fans want to hear from the folks they trust, right? These artists that they love and they know. And I think the tendency is to, get all rambunctious like me. I think it's important to be there for one's fans right now, right? We really want to help folks kind of think through who are the folks they are engaged with, right? What's their community? And how do you tell stories that are both organic, right? Just like songwriting, right? That are organic and real, so that they resonate, right? So you're not just being some propaganda machine. You can tell your own stories. It is another way to share a common part of us all, right? Mm-hmm. By being really open and vulnerable with the people you talk to. We use a term in organizing called courageous conversations, right? And courageous conversations means, Clay, I'm never going to come off to you as if I am like Mahatma Gandhi, right? Or Nelson Mandela. I'm going to come across to you in the way that I am, which is actually mostly just like you, right? Mm-hmm. And courageous conversations mean I don't have a full agenda. I have some passions and I have some values. And I'm going to tell you what that means for my life and what I think it means for our life. And for me, songwriting is probably the most vulnerable form of courageous conversation one can have. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I'm a Generation Xer, right? So I am like the latchkey kid, right? Single mom, and I found myself being bused to a different school across town. That meant walking back and forth once you got off the bus, another 6 blocks or so to the school. And, people would drive by, right? This young, 7th grader screaming out things like, go back to Africa, right? Calling me monkey, gorilla. That was my experience. And that was the experience of other Black and Latino youth in Long Beach. I was living, my mom was living basically we were living in a 1-room motel in Long Beach, California, right? And she was working poor mom. And it was a place where you paid by the week, right? And I'm living across from this guy and he was wearing like flannel and he had like ripped up jeans. And he said, you know what? I got this new album and you got to listen to it, right? And he like puts on this album and it's so fast, Clay. It's like, I think I'm having a heart attack, right? Like, I don't even know what I'm hearing. It's like, it's just like, it felt like an onslaught. And I was just like, what is that, right? And he said, it's punk, right? And I fell in love with punk on that day. And for the next 10, 15 years, it scared the shit out of me, punk rock, right? So I loved punk and it scared me and I'm sure it scared everyone around us. And so the way we all found each other, because people naturally try to come back together, right, was through music and this undefined music that allowed us to create ourselves. And, that's why I often say, yes, punk rock saved my life, right? But punk rock changed my life as well. And then it just went on and got stranger after that. I think in these moments of chaos and rage and shifting of ages, right? Or in this moment where one age has already come to an end. We haven't recognized it yet because, you know, things don't work in hard stops and starts, right? But one age has ended and a new age has already begun, right? And that transition periods are usually really kind of difficult periods, right? They're not easy, but yet it's humbling to be in that moment. And I think art helps us understand it, right? And art helps us feel connected to it in a way that speaks to us. I know amongst singer and songwriters and artists and right now, there's a lot of conversation around what should we be doing as artists? And I think that is a fair question. I feel like there's, you know, the answer though that we often come to is actually not the right answer, because our answer is, oh, we need to go be like the, you know, the activists on the front lines, right? Or we need to go be the politicians, or, right, we need to go be the policy folks. But really what we need to do right now is to actually be artists, right? And to be creatives. And so artists right now can do lots of things. One is they already know how to do art, right? That helps people understand the moment we are in, right? And where we should be going, right? And helping us understand what it looks like. It's hard to ask people to go to a future that they can't visualize, right? That they can't comprehend. That is a really scary thing. And the role of artists is to help us understand what that world looks like, what it feels like. It's to prepare us. So I tell folks art matters more than it probably ever has. And if it really didn't matter, right? Those, you know, who lean into authoritarian styles of government and culture wouldn't be spending so much time trying to defund it, right? And making sure there's not support for it, right? It matters because it is how we express our souls, and it expresses a common soul.